These are the best characters to build in Marvel Strike Force. Yes, get your farming gloves because we are counting down the top 10 free-to-play, aka farmable characters in Marvel Strike Force. We haven't done one of these lists in a while, but we are back. What has changed since the last time? Well, you're about to find out, so you know what to do. Find that like button, and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Valley Maniacs, how the heck are you doing? Hopefully you're having a great day. I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome to the ValleyFlyin channel, and I hope you're ready to count down the top 10 free-to-play, aka farmable characters in Marvel Strike Force with me. Yeah, there's a lot of good characters in Marvel Strike Force, but no nodes, no store, and if you're not on a node, not on a store, they're not eligible for this list. Now, this is not necessarily the best characters that you should be farming if you're a newer player or a mid-game player, but these are the characters that if they were missing from my roster over the past few months, they would be the most painful to replace. So for a newer and mid-game player, this is kind of a glimpse of what you could expect as you get towards the end game. Maybe if you have some of these teams already built, we could start to work on some of these other characters. But if you're in an end game, these are the top characters over the past few months. And let's go take a look at which characters are not eligible as we start this countdown. So yes, the list is getting bigger and bigger, which means that my camera here is shrinking. But yeah, a lot of great characters here. The legendary characters. There's a few that I was wondering if we should include, like Shang-Chi. Technically not farmable because he's in an orb, but the Blitz orb is very easy to obtain. So Shang-Chi's not gonna be on this list, but if he was eligible for this list, he would definitely be in the top 3 of this list. Same thing with Ghost Spider. Some people were saying maybe because of the ease that you could obtain her in the raid milestones, at least while these raid milestones are going on, because it's not just Doom that you get to get these raid milestones. Maybe you could get some of these raid milestone shards for Ghost Spider. Well, we decided not to take her on, but she definitely would be in the top 5 as well if she was eligible for this list. But those are 2 characters that I did want to mention. But Eternals, not eligible. This list is just expanding and expanding and expanding. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And maybe tomorrow what we'll do is do a list with some of the top characters in the game, top of the pay-to-play characters in the game. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that, but let's remove this list and talk about who just became eligible. Now, one of the reasons that we haven't done one of these videos in a while is there's not a lot of newly farmable characters. Over the past 2 months, since February, we've had 2 farmable characters. Moondragon, who became available on March 1st on Doom 2.9, and yeah, she's a great character, kind of outdated. Her time is kind of past. The Infinity Watch is kind of not totally out of the meta, but yes, very, very way less relevant than they were before. And Colleen Wing is also farmable now. Yeah, she went to the arena store when Dagger went into that orb. So Colleen Wing became farmable on April 5th. You can find her in an arena store at that increased cost, but let's clear this off and talk about the top 10 for April of 2022. Who is coming in the top spot? We're gonna have to find out, but let's talk about this number 10 spot, and it is, our girl, Phyla-Vell. Very, very good character, but kind of like Moondragon. The sun is set on their time in Marvel Strike Force, but there was a little bit of value over the past few months. There's still a few Infinity Watches on arena defense, so Phyla-Vell is important in that team. And I still see some combos with the Eternals, Adam Warlock, and Phyla-Vell on arena defense, so still relevant in arena defense. That's gonna change over the next few weeks as we have that Morgan Le Fay Scourge event tomorrow and more Dark Holes get built up. We're gonna see these teams less and less in arena, but yeah, Phyla-Vell is coming to that store. And the main reason that I have her on, though, is because we have gamma raids, and I am on that outer lane of the gamma raids, and you may not have that outer lane. You may be valuing some heroes for hire or someone else if you have the middle lane. But yeah, I'm on the outer lane, so Phyla-Vell, very important to my roster. She's one of the only Creed that's actually still relevant in the game. And let's take a look at her T4s, what makes her so good. She actually has a lot of great T4s. I actually did all of these T4s because normally with arena teams, I do all the T4s. But the 2 that I want to talk about are these that are very, very used, are very built up by users on MSF.gg. The first is her passive. You see 90% of users on MSF.gg has this. Increasing the drain by 25% for self and allies with death proof. Very, very important than a full Infinity Watch squad. And more damage for herself and Infinity Watch allies. So I love these kind of passes that affect the whole team. So this is a very good one. And this is also a good one, her ultimate. More damage to the primary target, 150. You're getting defense up for 2 turns instead of 1 and offense up for 2 turns instead of 1. So those are probably the highlights of her kit there. And yes, she is the striker. The striker tag is the most popular. 94% of users on MSF.gg has that striker tag. So very valuable in the raids pretty much. Arena defense, and yes, Infinity Watch is still one of the top war offense teams in the game. So still very, very good, valuable team. Don't totally sleep on her, but if you have some extra resources and you want to build up some older teams, some teams for war offense, Infinity Watch still does a lot of good things. All right, moving on to the next spot. Falling 1 spot from last month is Beast. And for me, or 2 months ago is Beast. And for me, the Axemen, the astonishing X-Men, they have lost a lot of value. The reason our alliance within the past few weeks went into Doom 2.3 and Axemen are getting demolished. 2.2 and below, they are one-shotting nodes, but as soon as it went into Doom 2.3, getting one-shotted. Bishops gets one-shotted, Beast gets one-shotted, Jubilee gets one-shotted, everybody gets one-shotted from some random beast. So they have lost a lot of value. That's why they fell, maybe not a lot of value, but they've lost some value for me. That's why they fell. But Bishop, still a very good character, a very, very important part of that team. And even if they're not as good in the raids when you get to Doom 2.3, they are still a very good war team, and they are important for that Magneto unlock. But let's go take a look at Bishop's T4s, take a look at his kit to see why he is so valuable. Boom, let's take a look at the T4s on MSF.gg. He's got a couple that are really good, and kind of like Phyla-Vell, his passive is the most popular. Taunt, he's getting 10% damage reduction. So as the pseudo tank of the team that's taking a lot of hits, you want damage reduction for the enemies and extra chance to counterattack. So yes, when he has that taunt up, very, very good. This is a good one. And his ultimate, one of the main reasons it's so good is a 2-turn cooldown. You see this 2-turn cooldown. He's doing this so often. Huge damage. This is what one-shots me, the enemy's bishops, because this is such a high damage move. 60% damage to primary and secondary targets, 120% damage to primary and secondary targets is charged. So yeah, very, very good characters. You got some good T4s as well. And Striker is overwhelmingly the most popular Iso-8 class on MSF.gg. 79% of users have that Striker class. And if you want to get Bishop, he is available in the very, very crowded war stores. So yes, Bishop War Store, Phyla-Vell. If I didn't say it, I think she's, if I didn't say it, she's available in the arena store. But let's move on to number 8. Boom. It is Beast, the other member of the Axemen, and they're kind of combined in this. And honestly, you could go with slots 2 to 9, and based on where you are in these Doom raids or Gamma raids or anything like that, you could switch up all of these spots. By the way, just spoiler warning. I think the number 1 and 10, at least for me, is set, but all of these are based on teams, and Astonishing X-Men, at least for me, has lost a lot of value, which is why Beast also fell down 1 spot, but still a very good solution for the raids, probably the best solution we have, even though they're falling. And Astonishing X-Men also very, very good in war, and like Beast, or like Bishop, Beast can unlock Magneto. But let's go take a look on MSF.gg. What is the popular T4s and Iso-8 class? Well, the Iso-8 class for Beast is gonna be the healer. He is the healer of the team. He's the cleanser of the team. He does so much to keep the team alive, and he should be your first target if you're taking out an Astonishing X-Men team. As we move down, you can see there's only one special that's pretty much worth it. Most people realize that the rest of the T4 is not very good on Beast. The only thing that's worth it, only 51% of users have this though, is this special, where you're clearing, instead of clearing 1 to 2 negative effects for self and all Astonishing X-Men allies, you're doing that for 2 negative effects. And you're getting extra damage to all enemies. The damage is nice, but he's not your damage dealer. It's clearing, making sure you're clearing 2 negative effects instead of 1. So that is the only T4 that I recommend for Beast. And as for, of course, Iso-8 class is the healer for him. And if you want to farm him, not a difficult farm. Nexus 5-9. So available for newer players, mid-game players. Get him. You're going to need him. Right now, they are the solution in the Doom mutant sections, especially in 2.2 and below. Maybe not so much in 2.3. All right, moving on, though. This guy fell a lot, and this is probably the last time he's going to be on this list for a little while, but it is our boy, Baron Zemo. Get the Turkish Delights ready, ladies and gentlemen. He fell 5 spots from last month. He's still in the arena meta. May not be by the end of the week because we have Morgan Le Fay's Scourge event coming up tomorrow, but yeah, he's still in the arena meta. His ability block is very, very important. And if you're looking at other game modes like the tower mode, pocket dimension, which weren't really factored into the equations of this because they come around so infrequently, he does very good in that with his early ability block. So he's going to be very good on war as well. Even when he falls out of the arena meta, it's still very important for war offense, especially if you're pairing in teams like the Dad Bros and things like that. But yes, that's pretty much where you're going to use him. And there's one node, the second node of skill that I use him on a daily basis. I use Shang-Chi for nodes 1 and the boss node for node 2. Zemo is on that, so he's got some value. Yes, but I only use him on one node, so he's dropped down to number 7 there. All right, but as far as his T4s, as far as what makes him valuable, there's only a couple that are really, really good, and it is, actually, there's one that is really good, and it is passive. 84% of users still have this. It gives them extra damage, clearing 3 positive effects instead of 2, which is very, very good, and giving extra speed for self and non-minion Hydra allies. This is what allows them to go before most other enemies or most other characters on the field. So yeah, Zemo, very, very good, and you could get him. You're gonna have to wait for him to pop up, but he is there. He's in the raid store, so not as bad as the war store, but yeah, he's a raid store character. You're gonna have to get some RNG to get him to even pop up there, but he'll be worth it. He's valuable in so many game modes, maybe not in arena after the end of this week, but he'll be valuable. All right, next, number 6, falling 2 spots from last month, is the first Secret Avenger on this list in Maria Hill. Now I had them flip-flopped. I had Sharon above Maria. Now I had Maria above Sharon because of the healing, the cleansing. Now I have Sharon above there because of the ability to block. I think if the healing is there, as our characters got more and more powerful, the healing, all those troopers coming out, not as valuable as that ability block. If she was missing, yeah, I would not get a lot of healing. I wouldn't get the cleansing, but if I didn't have the ability block, I wouldn't be able to complete Doom or the stun, by the way, for Silver Surfer on the second node. So Sharon got a little more value, but Maria Hill's still very important part of that team. That team does not work as well without her. Very, very good in the raids and very good on war. I've seen people use the Secret Avengers on war defense, but I think they're a little better on war, actually a lot better on war offense, especially if you're bringing Maria Hill because of the minions that she drops, and teams like Deathpool or the Symbiotes or the Axemen will just eat that thing up. But let's go take a look at her T4s. What makes her tick? Why is she so good? Well, there's a few of them that are pretty good. There's actually looks like 3 that are very, very popular all over MSF.gg. The first one is her passive here. 72% of users have that passive done. What is it going to do? Extra healing. She's going to go extra healing when an injured ally. 50% chance to heal the most injured ally by a 10%. Well, it's going to go up to 25%. So still a 50% chance. 50% of the time, this T4 is going to do absolutely nothing, but it's still worth it for that extra healing that it could potentially do. Also, this ultimate, 70% damage to all enemies. That's a good one, but really it's this clear. It's clearing all negative effects instead of one negative effect. This is big. I would actually argue that this is more important. Yeah, and 72.6 versus 72.4, it is more important. So the ultimate, I think, is more important than the passive, but the passive also good. And let's not forget about this. Summoning 3 shield troopers instead of 2, that makes it harder and harder. And then giving it a little extra damage, which is nice. But the 3 shield troopers and clearing all the effects instead of one effect, these are big moves. And you could argue that maybe even this one could potentially be higher than the passive, because this 50% of the time is doing nothing. But I think you need all 3 for Maria Hill. And she's an Omega Red unlock. Omega Red's still a very important part of the meta, and Healer is the best Iso-8 class on her. So yeah, if you want to get her, though, Not going to be an easy farm. She is available in the dirty, overcrowded war store. As we move back to the list, continuing with the countdown, we mentioned her when we were talking about Maria Hill, why she is above Maria Hill. But yeah, her spot is number 5, and she is above Maria Hill for her ability block, for her stun. She has a very, very good kit, and yeah, she's an important part of this team. She is an important part of that Omega Red unlock. She does a lot of good things. Let's move to MSF.gg. See why she's available. What are the best T4s for her? And I'm gonna say the ultimate, clearing all positive effects from the primary target. That is nice, but this slow and this stun, let me move this up here just a little bit. This slow and stun is really what this move is for. So if you are limited in T4s, you probably could skip this one, but more damage is nice. All positive effects is nice. Although sometimes this doesn't flip, but this is the other good one. Ability block for the primary target for 2 turns, especially when you're facing Doom. That's a very, very good T4. This is the best T4 as far as what the MSF.gg users think, and I totally agree with this because ability block for 2 turns, especially when facing Doom in the raids, which is what the Secret Avengers are meant for, is very, very valuable. So yeah, we'll go special, ultimate, and then passive. That's the way I would rate it. And Striker seems to be the best Iso-8 class for her. 92% of users on MSF.gg have that Striker class equipped on Sharon Carter. Yeah, very, very good stuff. And like I said, Omega Red unlock. And if you want to farm her, just like Zemo in the raid store, so crowded, not as crowded as the raid store, but you're gonna need some RNG, some good luck to have her pop up and even show up so you could purchase her. All right, next, we're moving on to the next team here because we're done with the Secret Avengers, and now we're moving up to the next team that got a lot of value over the past few months. It is these Web Warriors. Now, these Web Warriors were on the list, but Spider-Man, normal Spider-Man moving up 5 spots from last month because this Web Warriors just got a lot more important. Not only do they unlock Shuri, but they can be used in this Scourge event to potentially unlock Morgan Le Fay. Now, you can unlock Morgan Le Fay without the Web Warriors and the Dark Hunters, but based on their value in the raids, autoing at a sub 800k level, Doom 2.3, the hardest raid in the game, that's worth it to me. Now, some people brought Spider-Man into Dark Dimension 5. I did not. I was thinking more long-term for the raid value, so I brought in Punk. But if you're looking for some Dark Dimension value, you have a lot of Oz, which you may not. But if you have a lot of Oz and you want to bring Spider-Man, he works better in Dark Dimension 5 because his stuns, his defense downs. So very, very good character no matter what you want to use him in. Let's go take a look at some of his T4 recommendations. All right, and it's just one. This one actually went up from last month. This was only 51% of users had this T4. Now it is a little more important because of the Web Warriors. So increases the dodge chance. So that is good. That is goes up to 25% and increases the speed. So 5% extra speed. So he's getting that. And when a self or Web Warrior allies dodge, fill the speed bar of that character by 10%. So this is a very, very good one. This is probably the most important one for the extra speed bar that it's getting. These are good. It's getting extra damage, extra train, extra drain, extra chain. But yeah, these are good ones, but you can skip these. You don't need all these. And if you want to farm Spider-Man, very, very easy farm in that Blitz store. A lot of Blitz currency just floating around, and that store doesn't rotate. You got all the characters just there. So you're going to want them for the raids. You're probably going to place this team on war defense just to kind of annoy your opponents. But yeah, get them in the Blitz store. You won't regret it, especially since we are currently in a Web Warriors raid meta right now. All right, next character on the list, also moving up a few spots, moving up 3 spots, is Miles Morales. And yeah, he can unlock Shuri, but he can also potentially unlock Morgan Le Fay, which may be even more and more important. And he's got a couple nodes. Blitz store, Heroes 3.3. Let's go take a look at his T4s, see what makes him so valuable. Why is he a great addition to this team? Well, He's got a good kit. He's got this move right here, reducing the speed bar by 50%. Not a great candidate for T4s, as you see here, 8%, 12%, 39%, and 26%. So nothing really stands out as far as a T4. Maybe this one though. I do like this one. Getting a disrupted, instead of one additional target, 3 additional targets. Those additional disrupted can make a big difference in a fight, especially if that random disrupted lands on a protector that's trying to taunt, and then 30% extra damage to all enemies. The only reason I don't like this as much is a very long cooldown, but Ghost Spider does give some ability energy back at the start of every match, so not a huge thing. But if you're not watching this one may not be topped off at the end of every match, but I think this is his best one. Now, if you want to farm him, like I said, Blitz Thor, Heroes 3.3, and you got a Shuri unlock, and you got a Morgan Le Fay. You could use him in the Morgan Le Fay event. All right, moving on. Let's continue with this countdown. We're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving on to the new Warriors. Yes, the Mystic Crew. So, again, a lot of these characters here can be split up based on what team is valuable for you. Web Warriors may be more valuable for you. They're going to have a little more value. The Secret Avengers, you may be bumping them up because of what's going on in skill. Or you may have that mutant lane first. Maybe you're not in Doom 2.3 yet, and these Axemen are just smashing, kicking butt. You may have them a lot higher, but for me, it is Cloak in this section here, and he's an awesome raid character. He's an awesome war character. He does a lot, and in the tower mode, he does very good as well. But yeah, I'm using in Dark Dimension City, Dark Dimension 5 City. I'm not sure if I would recommend him or not because of the Mystic gear that he takes, because of the miasma that he takes. He's a great character. You're going to get use out of him. The only question is, are you going to get use out of other character a little more? Let's go take a look at his kit, his T4s. That's actually a few that I did for him. There's 3 that I do want to talk about, though. Big wall of text is his passive, and this is the most popular T4. Extra focus for self and Mystic Heroes allies. Yes, you're going to need that focus. It's very important, especially when you're trying to apply all of these negative effects to the enemies. Extra dodge chance while this character has offense up. That is good, but mainly this focus is huge when you're trying to apply a lot of negative effects. So very good. Damage to all enemies on this big ultimate, very good, and you're getting extra piercing to all enemies. Now, this is okay. Yeah, I really like all these 3 random negative effects from this list that you're applying on the enemies. That is a very good one. Offense down is good. You're getting more value from this T4 in the raids and with Dagger, but yeah, this is his big move here. And then this is another one that you might want to consider. 57% of users on MSF.GG did equip this T4. It's giving him more damage and applying slow, defense down, offense down for 2 turns each instead of 1 turn. So you got a few T4s that you might want to consider on Cloak. I think I did all 3 of those. So if I'm using a character every day, they get a little more loose with the T4s that I'm spending on them. If I'm not using them as much, I get a little more tight with my T4 spending with these characters. But that is Cloak. He's available also in the raid store, probably the best character in the raid store right now. But don't sleep on Sharon Carter. Don't sleep on Zemo. They're also very good. But let's continue with this countdown. Moving on to the number 1 spot. There's one Secret Avenger missing, so I think you know who is in this top spot. It is Captain Sam. He's been in this spot for a long time. Top farmable character in the game for a long time, in my opinion, because of his value that he provides in the raids. The skilletary is a very important, or the skill, the Secret Avengers, excuse me, not skilletary. The Secret Avengers, very important to the skill section of the Doom raids, and the tank is Captain Sam. So very important characters. War, you could use him in War. I'm gonna bring him into Dark Dimension 5 in the global section, and of course, like the rest of the Secret Avengers, he is important for this Omega Red unlock, and we got a couple good T4s that Captain Sam has. All right, so a few of them. All right, so let's talk about this big one. This is the most T4, and this is actually up from a few months ago. Only 72% of users had this T4 a few months ago. Right now, it's up to 83, so more and more users are equipping this T4. Gives them extra block, extra max health for self and all Secret Avengers allies. That makes it a no-brainer. Affects the entire team. And in raids, non-Secret Avengers skill allies gain extra max health as well. So yeah, using him in a skill section in Doom, everybody is getting more max health. So this is a very good one. And then this is a big one as well, using this mainly for the speed bar reduction, but attacking all enemies 370% damage goes up with the T4, 80% extra damage, and enemy remaining fill speed bar for skill for self and skill allies by 5%, so it goes to 10% total. Very, very good. It's a turn-based game. Speed manipulation, very, very important. And gaining taunt for 2 turns, so you want your BV tank taunting. This is a good one. 3 deflects, granting ability energy to 2 to 3 non-summon skill allies. Very good when you're trying to manage your cooldowns in the raid. So he does so much, and heck, while you're at it, this may not do a lot except for clearing this positive effect. May want to do this T4 as well just to be a completionist. But that is it. That is the list. Let me know your thoughts. But before we go, I do want to mention a few other honorable mentions. Now, we mentioned Shang-Chi. He's not on the list because he's in the Blitz Orb. But if he was on the list, and some people think that a Blitz Orb should count because of the prevalence of Blitz currency that we have. Shang-Chi, honorable mention. Number 1, honorable mention. Number 2 is Ghost Spider, who almost made this list because some people thought that these raid milestones, the generosity of the shards that we're getting, she should have been considered for this, but decided not to take her. So those are 2 characters. Other one that I do want to discuss is Scarlet Witch. She's a part of this Darkhold team. And if you're like me and most players in Marvel Strike Force, you don't have Dormammu, so wondering who the best 5th option is not even an option. So just put in Scarlet Witch if you don't have Dormammu. If you do have it, then you have to decide where you want to use Dormammu, where you want to use Scarlet Witch. But if you don't have Dormammu, Scarlet Witch, you're going to want to build her up for this Darkhold team. She's going to be on this list. She's going to be in the top 10 the next time we do this because of the prevalence of the Darkhold. And then last but not least, they're losing value, but they still are the best mutant Doom solution for the raids, and that is the last member. That is farmable. That is Kitty Pryde, available in the raid store. So a lot of great characters. Farm these guys, and hopefully Scopely gets their act together and gives us more than 1 farmable character per month. We've had that for the past, we're going on 5 months now, or is it 4? I don't know. But yeah, hopefully we get more farmable characters and we can do these videos more and more frequently. But that is it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that thumbs up bell so you know as soon as the new video goes up. I will see you guys next time though. Have a great rest of your day. Give me that Hulk fist bump and get ready for Scourge. It is coming tomorrow. Yes. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out. Have a great rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen.